veteran.
Welcome, and thank you all for joining us here this evening for the 40th Annual Mayor's Installation and Community Service Awards on this Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. This meeting is now called to order. It is so great to see all of you live and in person this evening, and also to let you know that we are also being video live stream recorded. So make sure that you look for yourselves. On the back of the program are all the links for how to get in touch with us, and also how to watch this after the program is over. I'd like to ask you all just to give a round of applause one more time. We had these wonderful carolers in here from I Can Do That Dance Theater. They left already, but I wanted to give them a shout out and a round of applause for their time that they gave us this evening. This evening, we like to, as we always do with our council meetings, is to start with our pomp and circumstance, and this evening is no different. We would like you all to stand and join our local veterans as the presentation of colors and the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow. That's what we keep saying up here. That was fabulous. Fantastic. Thank you so much. This evening, we are joined as well by some of our wonderful staff on stage, and I'd like to begin to my right with our staff. They're going to introduce themselves.
Rob Ewing, City Attorney.
I guess you can tell we haven't had a live meeting in a while. Joe Calabrigo, Town Manager.
Sunseri, City Clerk.
All right, and we will now begin with our council members.
Dave Fong, Council Member. Newell Rich, Vice Mayor.
Karen Stepper, council member.
Robert Storr, council member.
And I was looking at the clock, it's about 7 o'clock. I've got about, maybe an hour and 55 minutes. I'm your mayor. Thank you very much. We'd also like to take this moment to thank you and welcome some of the dignitaries in our audience this evening. And I do have a list. If I did forget you, please let me know so that we can also thank you for being here this evening. We have Gail Israel, the Deputy Chief of Staff for District 2 Supervisor Candace Anderson. The one and only San Ramon Valley Fire Protection District Chief, Paige Meyer. We also have Denise Tangalini, is that how you say it? No, wait, say it. Oh my gosh, okay, I did it right. Director of Emergency Communication. Deputy Chief Jim Sullivan. Deputy Chief Frank Drayton. And we also have the president of the Contra Costa Community District actually College District. It doesn't say that on here, but I know that it's with the College District. That's Andy Lee. Andy. And we also have our Danville Area Chamber of Commerce member here, Judy Lloyd. She's our CEO. Now, I say chamber member, but you've been chamber member, you've been with the senator's office, and I mean, we can count how many titles you have, but you are the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. That's right. Okay. And have I forgotten anybody in the audience? I have not. We're going to go ahead and continue then. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for celebrating with our community this evening. We're very honored that you are here and giving us your time. Yes, I did. Oh, I did not get, excuse me for one moment though, but somebody, I know fire, police, I was going to do it at a different time, but you know, but we have our own police chief here this evening as well, Chief Alan Shields. And of course, all of you are dignitaries in our eyes as well. We want to thank you all for being here as well. Once again, I wanted to mention that you'll see a camera in the back of the room. If you would like, this meeting is a live stream, so be sure that you don't do anything crazy. At the same time, you are also welcome to watch it again when you look back. We have different dates. It's on the back of your program. You can see that. Or if you'd like to have your friends and family watch at a different time, they can do so as well. Also, we'd like to, at this point in time, we'd like to have our invocation. And this evening's invocation will be given by Rabbi Shmuley Reitman.
Mayor Morgan, Vice Mayor Anarich, council members Fong, Stepper, and Stora, recipients of the 2021 Community Service Awards, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to offer an opening prayer for these most auspicious proceedings. Before I do so, I'd like to briefly convey, on behalf of my family and my community, our heartfelt commendations and congratulations to my good friend, Mayor Renee Morgan, to all of the outgoing and incoming town leaders, and to all of tonight's honorees. Ever since moving here 7 years ago, my wife and I have found this town to exemplify the finest attributes and ideals to which we believe every American city ought to aspire. Its welcoming spirit of diversity, inclusivity, liberty, and individuality. Its appreciation for the supreme importance of family and community. The premium it places upon education and the inculcation of morals and values within our young people. Its high regard for law and order, ensuring the safety of our streets and the security of our homes. And its commitment to honest and efficient governance, providing for a wholesome, peaceful, and joyful state of existence for all its citizenry. In a time when so much of what is featured in the media and in our public discourse tends to focus on people's displeasure with their political leaders and fellow citizens, it is truly refreshing to come together for uplifting occasions such as these. In demonstrating our admiration and appreciation for those who selflessly give of themselves to improve the quality of life for others, whether through elected office, merited appointments, or noble volunteerism, we are here to celebrate the best of what America is all about. And whatever our differences, political, religious, or otherwise, there is a deep and profound spirit of respect for our common dignity as God's children that pervades and animates this town, uniting us all as one. So on that note, let us pray. Lord, our God, God of our fathers, we beseech you, in your abundant mercy, to bless this esteemed gathering of community leaders, conscientious citizens, and devoted volunteers of the town of Danville, who give of their time and energy to help bring stability and sustenance, wisdom and enrichment, healing and hope into the lives of their fellow, thus bringing to fruition your vision of a just and harmonious society. We pray, O Lord, that our fine town continues to shine forth as a radiant beacon of light for miles around. We ask that you grant the soon-to-be newly installed mayor, vice mayor, council members, commissioners, and officers, along with those renewing their service in such capacities, the wherewithal and the fortitude to live up to their solemn oaths, fulfilling their duties as your humble servants and as custodians of the people's trust. We further ask that you bestow your grace upon those who have been guided by the spark of divinity within them to perform noble deeds of community service. As recited in the Sabbath prayers, may the Holy One, blessed be He, reward all those who occupy themselves faithfully with communal affairs, removing from them all manner of sickness, healing their bodies, pardoning their sins, and sending blessing and success to all their endeavors, together with their brethren, and let us all say, Amen.
Welcome our poet laureate up, Elaine Betts. While Elaine is coming up to the stage, I wanted to let you know that her beautiful poem is also available on the back of the program for you to also read along.
This poem is called Danville's Distinction, and just for fun, I've added a verse in there, so you'll have to look and see where that one is. On the road to recovery, the challengers saw Danville's resilience we shouldn't ignore. Solid foundation and loyalty teams have kept Danville alive and continued the dreams. Dreams to maintain the uniqueness and flair which we see all around us, just everywhere. It shows what we're made of, unstoppably strong, able to pivot and manage along. For us to stay positive with focus remained, for if we test negative, there's much to be gained. Keep staying our distance, yet socially clear. If we all keep our masks on, we'll see you next year. Keeping tradition and staying on course, through all of the challenges, Danville's shown up in force. So come join the team, be community proud. See what we deliver as a collaborative crowd. We do things better, step up to the plate, deliver the best, there's no second rate. Understand it takes effort behind all the scenes, Zoom or in person, We know what it means. We know what it means to share Danville's heart, distinctly different, that sets us apart. As we look back with pride that all that is done, the future depends on us all being one. One who can vision a commitment to win and keep Danville safe, have a pride from within. Celebrate robustness, our true spirit's zest. Strive for distinction and doing our best. Thank you.
This evening, we like to present our awards, beginning now with the awards for outgoing commissioners. As you know, commissioners do not get paid, but they do give a lot to our community, which is invaluable, starting with Robert.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you to each of you for joining us here this evening. Would Alec Tappan, Kyler Fung, and Brittany Beach please join me at the podium? Thank you for coming tonight. You know, it's always sad when we need to say goodbye to our parks commissioners or any of our commissioners. It's a volunteer job, and it's an important part and necessary to what's special in the town of Danville. Our park system, and these two have done an incredible job making our parks better. Parks make lives better, and each of these individuals have made our park systems much, much better. They completed our bicycle master plan, our dog park upgrades, created the pickleball at Osage Park, various park upgrades, worked on our skate park, trail connections, parks master plan, and thought of ways to make our downtown library, our town green, a better place to live. I wish each of you the best of luck in the next chapters in your life. I know life gets kind of complicated, young kids moving out of the area, whatever it is. When life gets better, we would hope that you would consider coming back to the town of Danville, because we'd certainly love to have you. And thank you for all that you've done in this community.
Thank you.
I don't know if we have Samantha Snow here in the audience. I didn't see her. But our Arts Advisory Committee member, Samantha Snow, is our student representative and spent her junior and senior year representing the town of Danville on the Arts Commission. College got in the way, and she found better things to do with her time. Her voice, strong determination in the arts made her an outstanding commissioner, and she will be missed. A couple of projects that Samantha worked on, our Hearts on Hearts project, very successful. The Shroomin' Lumens, the Dogs of Danville, and she was an extraordinarily strong advocate for public art. And once again, she'll be missed. So thank you, Samantha Snow.
I have the honor of presenting the outgoing Commissioner Award to Dave Havlick, who was not able to attend tonight's celebration. Dave has served on the Planning Commission between 2017 to 2020, and was also the Planning Commission representative on the Design Review Board. As a 40-plus year Danville resident and a professional career as a mechanical engineer for over 50 years, Dave brought a wide range of knowledge, expertise, and experience to the Commission. Dave's key contributions included knowledge and experience in project planning, knowledge and key points of view from his experience of mechanical design on how things are built, especially large development projects such as overall downtown parking, senior housing facilities design, and key areas in what we consider sensitive areas such as cell tower design and radio frequency emissions. I would like to thank Dave for his 4 years of service. The town of Danville appreciates residents like Dave who are willing to volunteer their time and continue to make Danville such a special place to live.
Well, I just want to add a personal thanks to Rabbi for the blessing. It's been 2 years, and God knows we needed a few blessings, not only here in Danville, everywhere in the world. So thank you for being here tonight and sharing those wonderful words. I have the pleasure of announcing an outgoing commission, but there's a really good news about this one. Bob Ficken, are you here? Bob, come on up. Bob helped start, yeah, come on, Bob. Sorry. Here's the good news. He's getting off of one commission, but the reason why he got off was not because he wasn't doing a good job or he didn't enjoy it. He actually applied, and we were looking for somebody to help fill an important role on our planning commission. So we're going to recognize him because officially you're an outgoing commissioner for our senior advisory commission, which was a brand new commission that has just created the roadmap, and Bob was part of helping create that roadmap to figure out what it is we need in Danville, what are our seniors, how do we age in place, a long host of things, and he added his wisdom to help guide us in that. And now we have other commissioners in place to take over yours, but he is also wonderfully still a commissioner and on our planning commission. So Bob, on behalf of your fellow commissioners of the town council and the community of Danville, we just want to say thank you for your service, and we look forward to many more years of continued service. Thank you.
Category is for years of service to the town of Danville, our service awards. And by the way, Brittany received a clock because she was served for years, not because he liked him better or you better.
I'm very pleased to ask Jane Joyce to join us up here. She has spent 16 years on our Parks Commission. And the good news is she's not an outgoing commissioner. She's still serving. So I'll give you a little background with Joyce because I've been able to present to her, I believe, in the past. She's been here, as I said, 16 years. A lot of projects have gone through her fingers, and she's done an amazing job. She had 2 children that were born here, Robin and Connor, and so she already knew a lot about our parks because of her children and because she was participating in tennis and education classes and Tai Chi and Women's Book Club, and then she says, well, I may as well interview in 2005 for this Parks Commission. So going back to those times, we asked her why she wanted to join, and she said because she wanted to even more so improve the facilities and the recreation programs. 8 years later, that was 2 terms on the Parks Commission, she'd added to her repertoire all the work on open space and the trails in our community, which we are still developing, of course. She's really good at bringing in community feedback because she had participated in so many things in our community, in the schools, Mustang Soccer, Danville Little League, Sierra Club, Save Mount Diablo, San Ramon Valley Museum, Scouts. I'm sure I forgot some, but she'll tell me later. So she has served, of course, after this many years as the chair. She's a very effective chair at getting in the feedback from her commissioners. She's been also a liaison for the Arts Commission and for the Planning Commission. So why still serve after all these years of 16 years? Because she's so proud to have been able to say she was spending time developing her community, to have that new community building that we opened at Oak Hill Park. She was on the Parks Commission during that. To renovate the Village Theater in 2009, along with the Art Gallery, which you are especially proud of today because you're here in this community building that was redone at that time. After she retired from her work with HP and Xerox in 2017, she had even more time on her hands, so she really helped us conduct the public meeting and surveys to have a new parks and arts combined master plan. So I would say, just to sum up, Jane, some of the projects that I think you told me and which we all feel really proud of was, of course, the Veterans Memorial Building, which included the Senior Center, which brought the town in, the Hap McGee Bounty Garden, which, if you don't know, provides all the food to the food bank, all the people who grow that. During the pandemic, we got the first pickleball courts. I think we still have a line for more of those. And she had a master's in leadership studies, which she brought to her work on the commission. And she has been the director of management, marketing, and recruitment for the grad program at St. Mary's, which again brings another element of all the ages that she's represented to make sure that our programs and parks represent all of those. So we hope that you're going to enjoy the next few years as you bring forth the town green to be the heart of our community, and that we've now got a lot of the funding for the scooter and skate park, all those things that you have been working on. So congratulations. We are so grateful to have you serving on this commission and to bring your energy and to such a broad age range, all the things that you've helped us develop. So thank you, Jane. Great job.
What a wonderful community we live in. So many people and so many organizations giving back. And yes, I did coordinate. Like it? No, I didn't. It just so happened that way. But anyways, on the serious note, let's talk here for a second. I'm here right now. We're going to start talking about awards of merit. These awards are special, and they're given to individuals that give back to our community. This past year, our isolation that we've had, our seclusion that we've had from friends and family has been difficult on all of us. But imagine if you could not drive or if you had no family. Many of our seniors, the most vulnerable in our community, face this. They also faced not being able to have visitors because of the threat. Meals on Wheels Diablo region has been that lifeline to the vulnerable the seniors in Danville and throughout the county for over 50 years, and especially during this pandemic. This organization responded quickly as they witnessed requests for meals increased by 40% within the shelter in place. Last year, they distributed alone over 500,000 meals to seniors in our community. As a full-service organization, they are dedicated to addressing all the needs of the more than 6,700 seniors that they serve. In addition to meal delivery, which is very important, they also are dedicated to addressing all the needs of these seniors, including exercise, fall prevention, well checks, which we also do in Danville, but they do that on a regular basis. Help get seniors to our virtual classes. Home safety modifications, making sure that they're safe. Elder abuse. There are so many new online things that have come out since the pandemic. So that it's so important that they know what to watch out for. So much more do they give our community. Danville, our seniors have been able to stay connected, receive meals, and be able to be a part of our community even during this isolation and during this pandemic. They truly provide more than what a meal is. They allow our seniors to live independently, safely, and with dignity as long as possible. Would Caitlin Sly and her team join me on stage? So I said team because I see a few of the board members that are here today, but it's up to all of you if you'd like to come up, but I'd love to have the board members come up as well. So. This program has been instrumental in helping our seniors during a pandemic and, of course, beyond. They have continued to provide services, and they have continued to make our seniors feel as if they are still a part of our community. Thank you for being the inspiration and a community advocate. On behalf of Danville and myself and the Danville Town Council, congratulations on being this year's recipient of the Danville Award of Merit. Thank you. Did you know we're smiling?
Would Elizabeth Chesney please join me at the podium? As parents, we want our kids to succeed. Whether they go to Stanford, whether they go to Berkeley, whether they just learn to write a check, take the bus system, and learn how to find a job in town, the town that they love and they live in. We want our kids to be independent and live and succeed on their own, and this is every parent's dream. Elizabeth Chesney is a remarkable young woman, and that's what our Merit Award is really all about. Really special people doing special things in our community. She's a senior at Santa Monica Valley High School and had an authentic passion in working with special needs children since she was in elementary school. This is due in large part for having a special needs cousin with the same age, and also due to some specific experiences that took place in middle school that would further spark and shape her interest in this community. These experiences left an imprint that unquestionably influenced her choices made in high school. While in middle school, Elizabeth volunteered for an elementary school summer school program, and by chance was assigned to a special needs class. She loved working with these kids and never missed a day of it. But the real imprint came from a meeting in her 8th grade graduation when by chance she was randomly sitting next to a special needs child and that was there to receive his diploma. The boy's parents had asked her if she would mind walking up there with them, and she gladly obliged, and the two received their diplomas together. A few weeks later, Elizabeth's parents received a very thoughtful note and a picture that captured the moment. And this all came from the boy's parents, and it was a heartfelt note. They thanked her and told her how much they appreciated what she had done, saying that this gesture on her part made him have a normal school experience. And she was touched by it. After realizing what a genuine impact her small actions could make, combined with how much she actually enjoyed working with special needs kids, Elizabeth decided to dedicate most of her high school career with developing a disabled community. And I honestly believe this is a passion and a calling. Not everyone can do this, and this young lady can do this. During her high school years, she would assist in special education classes and various recreational activities. She continued with this interest by becoming a tutor for special education class and became a mentor to special education students and young adults. Elizabeth and her teachers, Mr. Blake, Ms. Kamal, Mr. Ekstrom, found creative ways to connect with these students to teach them both educational and life skills, giving her students the tools to one day live independently. Elizabeth maintains a 4.3 grade point average. Does that surprise anybody here? That's all? And she continues to work with the special needs community and also tutors elementary school kids. Community, giving back, and making a positive impact on the world are important values to Elizabeth. Her passion and compassion towards the special needs youth community is in her heart and in her mind forever. She plans to devote time and energy to this community while in college and thereafter. Elizabeth, I'd like to introduce you to some very special people that I know. Right, when I call your name, would you please stand up and would you help me recognize these extremely successful, independent young people that are living on their own and doing wonderful things in the community. Zach Wyville is actually Elizabeth's student prodigy. Thank you, buddy. Good job. James Asher Jr. Yeah. And please, James, stay standing, buddy. Molly Napolitano, Cami Napolitano. Are you causing any problems in Danville? Leah Sadur, a Macy's employee for 5 years and she works 5 days a week. Craig and Ellen Sadur are her parents. Angela Page, multiple Olympic gold medalist and a volunteer at Special Olympics. Thank you. Christy Dodge. Everybody knows Christy Dodge. Multiple Olympic gold medalist, the Mike Szymanski Award recipient, and the face of Special Olympics. Turn around and wave to everybody, Christy. Pretty cool, huh? My sister-in-law, Emily Lucchese. Emily has been to Italy 21 times and on 7 cruises around the world. She's actually a world traveler. And that's my favorite mother-in-law right there, by the way. All are incredibly independent and doing wonderful things in our community and displaying a tremendous success in everything that they do because they never give up and they always do the right thing. Elizabeth, you can help continue this success. These stories. This community really needs your help and expertise. I wish you the best of luck in all that in your future endeavors, and please remember that these are the people that you're working with and helping them become independent. Congratulations to you. Thank you to each of you.
Well, that was tough to follow. I have the honor of presenting the Award of Merit to our next recipient. This individual has been a stellar volunteer with all of the veteran service organizations in Danville and establishing a branch of the Bay Area Naval Nurse Corps Association serving the nursing population, military and community needs, and supporting the Veterans Memorial Building in the San Ramon Valley. Captain Lori Newmark Salmons, U.S. Navy retired. Would you please join me on stage? So a little bit of background on Lori. It's kind of interesting. She was born and raised nearby in Lafayette, went to school at Alcalanes, and subsequently went to Stanford University. She also has a number of postgrad degrees from UCSF, primarily in the area of nursing, and was actually on faculty with UCSF, supporting their medical area of UCSF's graduate division. Subsequent to school, she went on to join the Navy in 1971, completing her Nurse Corps Officers Indoctrination School in Newport, Rhode Island as a graduate. Her active and reserve military service spans, 39 to 40 some odd years, with primary duties in brick and mortar hospitals as well as being on board of a lot of ships over the years as well. Now, after retirement from the service, and as one of the highest ranking women officers in the local veterans community, her life's continued journey continued, and she is truly a representative of someone who keeps on giving. Lori, as one of the highest ranking women officers in the local veterans community, as I mentioned, has represented women in the military at countless events and activities locally, nationally, and internationally, advocating and raising awareness for expanded programs for veterans of all ages, especially women, and their families. Lori's volunteer work has primarily focused on critical need areas such as investing time and effort fighting for expanded health care programs to the underserved women, and advocating for more and deeper youth development and public education programs. Additionally, Lori, in her spare time, serves as the Bay Area Naval Nurse Corps first president.
The organization's been there for a while, but I'm currently president.
There you go. And she's also a trustee of the Veterans Memorial Building of San Ramon Valley, and a participating member of the operating committee and influential member of the library and historical committee at the Veterans Memorial Building. Now, as I mentioned, this is what she does as a day job. And it's amazing how she's able to balance work, volunteering, and family life. And I want to comment and also recognize her husband, Tim, who has joined her on this journey. Tim, where are you? Did you join us this evening? There you go. And really cherish the support that he's given to you, and also at the same time you've raised 2 grown children, as well as a sister-in-law and 2 grandchildren. So this is what she does, between what she does for the town as well. Lori, thank you for your continue to give and share. You are truly a gift to all of us, and on behalf of the town of Danville, I'm honored and proud to present you with the Award of Merit for 2021.
This is a night about people. It's not about the council or about us or the town, as much as it is just about people in the community. And it takes an entire community to make a difference. So Elizabeth over here, who was just recognized, Robert didn't mention, she's hoping to go off to the University of Washington. You know what she's going to study? Environmental science. But what she wants to do is environmental policy. She's going to save the planet. She is not stopping. Thank you, Elizabeth. We're counting on you. We really are counting on you. When we talk about people who volunteer in this community, and everybody here has a piece and a part of it, whether you're being recognized or not tonight, I see most everybody in this room has a role to play in your daily lives. There are 2 gentlemen who have spent the past numerous decades, tens of thousands of hours, volunteering for our community. They wear a uniform, they carry a gun, they look like one of our regular police officers. They drive the cars, they make arrests and everything. They're our highest level of reserve officer. And they do it for nothing. They do it out of the care for the community. And there are 2 gentlemen, and I think only one of them is here tonight, Mark is here tonight. Mark Silvera, please come on up. Mark, we'd like to recognize you. And of course, I have this totally backwards here. Walt is not here tonight, is he? So I'm going to mention Walt. I'm going to make him stand here because then he could smile about his partner. But Walt Welty joined who was one of our other reserve officers. And he joined the Sheriff's Department back in 1983, a long time ago. Became a Level 1 Reserve in 1984 when he was assigned to the Lafayette Police Department. Yeah, he did work for somebody else, but that's all right. He was promoted to a reserve sergeant and eventually later to reserve lieutenant while working there. In 1989, he expressed interest in becoming a reserve canine officer. And if you know, you've seen officers with dogs and our canines, it looks kind of nice. The amount of training it takes and the amount of personal time when you're off duty, the dog's not off duty. So you have to do this 24/7. It takes a tremendous amount of effort. He went on to help become one of our canine officers and trained with other departments. And after Walt and his canine post were certified, they competed at many Western States police canine competitions. So not only volunteer, he wanted to show off how good he was at it. And then in 1995, while completing police canine trial, Walt and his canine received a perfect attack score and from all 6 judges in the Western States Police Canine Association, something never achieved before in its history. Walt provided many canine demonstrations for various schools and community groups with Contra Costa County. And shortly after his proposal was submitted, the sheriff closed the canine program. In 2007, Walt moved his family to Danville, and guess what? He fell in love with Danville and helped us here all the way through 2019. And later requested that transfer to come here and finish out his time. So we have a beautiful plaque for Walt, which we will get to. In fact, I'll ask Mark or our chief to do that. But it's really important that we think. I mean, if you think what an officer makes and the amount of extra training they do, to have somebody work their regular job and come to work for us on a full shift to do this at all of our special events, particularly on our night where we need extra officers, we owe him a great debt of gratitude on behalf of our community. Thank you, Walt. So this gentleman you may recognize if you've ever seen some of our live broadcasts, well, when we used to do those. Mark is a resident of our community. Not only is he also a reserve officer who spent decades here, but he also spent a long time on our design review board. So if there's a building you don't like, he did it. If you like it, we did it. So choose. I'm just kidding. Mark, along with his fellow volunteers, did a wonderful job. He's been married to Tiffany for 15 years, and they have 2 boys, Michael and Matthew, 12 and 14. They lived here for 15 years as well. So I guess everything in your life is good. Started here in Danville. 15 years of marriage, 2 kids, wonderful. He's been an active board member with Danville Little League for the past 8 years and is really involved in that right now. And in 1984, working as a Marine Patrol deputy, Mark had the privilege of working in several of the different patrol divisions of the Sheriff's Office and at the Danville Police Department. Mark worked patrol at the Delta Station, that's in East County, the Marine Patrol Search and Rescue, per diem call taker, and fire dispatcher at DRCC Communication Center. He's covered a lot. And in 1989, Mark started working here in the town of Danville. That's 1989. That's 32 years ago. Reserve Officer Robert Allen, and he started the very first bike patrol. There was a lot of firsts in Danville. We weren't going to do dogs. We weren't going to do motorcycles. We weren't going to do bikes. There was a lot of risk involved for liability. Well, we had people who said, I know how to do this. I'll set the standards and the protocols. And Mark helped start that. And it became part of our program and elsewhere in the county. In 2000, Mark took an assignment with the Air Support Unit of the Sheriff's Office while continuing to work as a reserve officer. So he volunteered for 2 more jobs and continued to work reserve for us. Mark was an emergency vehicle operations and force operations instructor and would often host blocks for the Citizens Academy. So Mark, on behalf of the community, thank you for your service as a reserve officer. Thank you for the K-9 program. Thank you for our bike patrol program. Thank you for being on our reserve. Thank you for being a dad, a parent, and an active community member. I'm out of breath. Mark, thank you so much. And by the way, Laura Grinstad, famous photographer, has been helping us tonight. That was ready to leave. So there are a lot of firsts. You heard, as Mayor Morgan said tonight, this is the 40th anniversary of the Town of Danville hosting this awards. We also know, and Karen Stepper has been actively involved along with our veterans, today, 80 years ago, was the attack in Pearl Harbor. This is Pearl Harbor Day. There are a lot of firsts, but out of those tragic events that happened 80 years ago, we are here today to live in freedom in the safest city in the state of California. 50 years ago today, literally this day, way back in 1971, something else happened. A group of people, actually kind of started with Sierra Club, decided that there's that big mountain, and there's a lot of development starting to happen. And what can we do to help preserve that? And an organization was called that we know now that's synonymous with this area. It's Save Mount Diablo. It didn't happen easily. And Ted Clement, are you here tonight? Ted, come on up here. The executive director of Save Mount Diablo. Ted, come on. Ted, welcome and congratulations. We are here because Danville has benefited by the efforts of this organization that started off as entirely volunteers. They didn't have any money. They had some willpower. There were several wonderful individuals who thought this was the right thing to do. But it took the courage of people. And today, there are several of the board members that live here in Danville that have been involved with Save Mount Diablo. Our council had partnered with. Most importantly, Save Mount Diablo took a big step to partner with the town of Danville on a particular project. And it wasn't the interest of the project and what was being built. It was how to preserve open space and how to preserve it in a meaningful way. And they took a step to say, that is the way that you can do that. It benefits the community, and most importantly, it benefits all of the trails and all of the connections for animals and those things. You don't want to have little pockets of land because the land is useless for the natural predator, the natural elements and those that live there. They came to us and said, we believe this is the right way. And for that, we really do thank you. But there are a couple of people in this organization. Originally, there were some statistics that are interesting. Back in 1971, there were 6,700 acres. And now, it totals more than 80 parks, preserves found and around Mount Diablo, starting from Walnut Creek to Brentwood and Livermore, totaling 120,000 acres. So that's kind of like the little house on the prairie that's got a little, and now there's this whole incredible network of open space. Their mission is to forever preserve remaining natural lands on and around Mount Diablo and to connect Mount Diablo to the rest of the Diablo Range. Their mission is to preserve all of the natural lands and around Mount Diablo. And they have been working hard on a very large project that was down in Livermore, and unfortunately, it didn't work out, but this new owner who paid a gazillion dollars for the property may well be convinced. And I know that, Ted, that is something you guys are working on. But on tonight, we really want to say one thing, and we'll say it 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your advocacy. Thank you particularly to Seth Adams, who I believe was the first employee. And if you have ever met Seth Adams, don't ever get in a fight with Seth Adams because he wins. That's how he won all those open space things, whether it be with the town of Danville or any of the organizations. You have to fight to save that space. And he convinced people to give the land for free more often than you can imagine. So Ted, on behalf of the town of Danville and our residents, we just want to say thank you again. Congratulations on 50 years. Thank you.
I'm here tonight to introduce you to Kay Wang, who's been in Danville for more than 30 years. I'm going to ask her to come down here. We're glad she's accompanied by her 2 daughters, and as well as Beverly and Andrea, who grew up in Danville and have helped Kay with all the things she has done over all these years. In particular, Kay Wang is being recognized for all the cultural award of merit service for the Asian community, being a part of all of our events, all of our museum exhibits, everything else. Kay is the person who has made that happen, and that makes us a much more whole community. So we appreciate that very, very much, Kay. Kay is a charter member of it's called the K-12, but actually the name Bay Valley Chinese School. The Bay Valley Chinese School. She was the administrator for 5 years and then became the principal, took a little hiatus, probably with her young daughters. And then she has now gone back to be the principal since 2017. A few days ago, I was so honored to be able to go down to Pine Valley School, where this school is now being held, and see 13 classes on a Friday night, kids learning how to paintbrush, how to read Chinese, how to sing, how to do all the things that they were bringing in the culture over here, and to make sure, as you all do, that your family, your kids are coming through with your own history. And so this is an exciting school, and she has been the principal for the last 5 years. Now, if that sounds kind of, what did I say, studious? No, she's so hands-on. Remember we had the 4th of July parade on September 4th? I mean, who ever heard of such a thing? So she was one of the first people. All her kids at the school, so many of them volunteered. They put on shirts for the school. They marched in that parade to make that a better parade for everyone that the Kiwanis put on this year. So that was tremendous, and of course she was leading it. So that's what I mean by a hands-on person. I'm surprised at how many ways she has made a difference just in the past year. And this is a year where we've seen too many things on the news shows which have not been what we wanted to hear. And so when we can point to Kay and what she's done and brought to Danville, we can be so proud of those activities. So in addition to all these classes and all these students going to school on Friday nights, which not all kids do, so she was a charter member of the Rotary in San Ramon and current member of Exchange Club. And in these activities, she again does the same thing. She brought 10 years ago 6 professional kite flyers from China to come and be part of the Air and Wind Festival. I'm sure if I asked you to raise your hands, even though we're in Danville, you've all been to the Air and Wind Festival. And after the amazing displays, then those kites had remained up in the, remained in what used to be and is now the newer town hall, city hall in San Ramon. She's a person who responds immediately when you ask for help. We have a lot of veterans in the back here and helped us with the flag ceremony. Every year they put on a swearing-in ceremony for the new high school students who go directly into the military instead of directly into college. And so we needed somebody to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and so she immediately brought in Cynthia Lee, who was an amazing singer, and really gave formality and credibility to the families who were watching their students go to a different path. So it was excellent. And then when she looks for other ways to help is both cities. San Ramon just had a cultural fair. Maybe some of you went to that a couple of months ago. And she brought all these tables full of Asian items and brush painting that the kids could do hands-on. And so when she had done that, she said, well, now what can we use that for next? So if you haven't been to the new museum exhibit right now, which you will think of as Toys and Trains, the whole baggage area is all Asian New Year's. She's put on amazing New Year's activities, and the council has attended several of those because it's an opportunity to see the culture, the foods, all the things that make our community whole have come from a mix and diversity that we're proud to recognize Kay for helping us bring that to happen. Finally, I'll say I would like to recognize her for helping us as a town, because we have brochures on the housing element that you'll say, what is that if you haven't been on our website lately? but it's a really important thing that's happening from the state down. And so she helped us with the brochure to make sure that we could translate it so that everybody could read it. And so translating that into Mandarin, not just the translation like you do on a computer, but actually knowing the language and how you express what you're supposed to say. And so I can't think of any way she hasn't said yes, but she's helping everybody in our community feel safe and nurtured in our other areas and other countries. And so for that, we think she deserves, and we are proud to award her this Cultural Award of Merit. Thank you. Thank you, Kay.
Karen, I wanted to let you know that your next award recipient is stuck in traffic and running late. So I don't know if I don't know if you want to go ahead and do your presentation
Oh,
or
whatever you say, you're the mayor.
okay. Wow, isn't that a great feeling?
Okay. All right, I'll do the presentation.
All right, 7
And
minutes.
when she comes in, or it won't be she, it will be her husband or her son is representing. Karen O'Connell is our next award of merit. And she's someone who's also been a number of years in Danville. But in the last 9 years in particular, we're recognizing her through her son or her husband for what they have done with the fostering of animals in this community, primarily dogs. And she has probably brought new homes, new forever homes, as they say, to over 400 of these pets in the last few years, because she works not only with the Fremont group, but also in San Jose and Sacramento with the Bay Area rescue groups. A lot of things happened with COVID, and one of the things that happened, I'm going to ask, how many of you adopted a new pet because you were a little isolated? It was like the thing to do, but sometimes those pets don't work out and they come back to the shelter, and you need somebody with the dedication of Karen and her husband that says, that's okay, we're going to foster this pet until they do find a new forever home, because those are the ones that are the hardest to re-adopt sometimes. But it's not just those, it's every kind of dog there is, and I have a kind of fun story about her and how she got involved in this. So she, it's a Lassie come home story, as they call it, as they wrote it in the newspaper. This is how she really got involved. She had a little beagle, because beagles are kind of like one of their favorite dogs. They have done all kinds and sizes of dogs. But this one had just been adopted from a research program. So when you're dropped from a research program and you're a dog, you're lucky to find a home at all, because who knows what you've been through. So they adopt this cute little dog that they named Valentine, and they went up to visit their relatives up in Mendocino, I believe, no, near Guerneville, and the dog got lost. Even though the dog was on a leash, it somehow got out and ran away up into the woods. So they spent almost a whole month looking for this dog. And when you hire a pet detective and put up flyers, it is really expensive. I can't believe how much it was per hour, so some of you might look for new jobs here. Anyway, because people will do anything to find their pets. And so she went one last time up there after the rains, because the rains make the scents stronger. And they actually had somebody called that only lived a few houses away from their friends and said, I just moved here, but I found your dog. So that was the start of, she couldn't believe how much that meant to her family, all these years, bringing in all these foster dogs, and what she and her children have learned. And she would have been here tonight if her children weren't graduated and doing swim. Swim was a tournament, I think it is, in Texas right now, because they're really accelerated swimmers. So if she comes in, we'll introduce her, but then you can recognize her for some of the things that she has brought to our community at a time when it's been especially needful during COVID. So thank you.
So in 2009, the town of Danville lost a council member and a mayor, Michael K. Szymanski. His family has continued his legacy with the Michael K. Szymanski Community Service Award. Would his daughter please join us on stage, Cindy Allen, to present the Szymanski Family Year Award?
Good evening, and thank you to the Town of Danville for allowing us this pleasure of presenting this award every year. This award we present to a member of our community who throughout the last year created a way for the youth to succeed. Something special my dad always cherished was what the youth do for the community. The time they take from school, the time they take from their friends, or the time they take from everything else going on in life when you're a child or in high school to provide to the community something special. Tonight we are here to honor someone just like that. He's passionate about empowering his community and contributing towards society's economic development. That sounds like a lot for a kid that's at high school, right? Let me tell you how. I'm told he's a big foodie. And when COVID hit, what happened? All the restaurants started to close. Restaurant workers lost their jobs, and restaurants started to fail. He took the time within his community to create and found the program called SOAR at Monte Vista High School. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping restaurant workers and restaurants who have negatively been impacted over the last year. They assist not only with cash relief, but finding jobs and help starting home-based food businesses for those that couldn't maintain their business in the restaurants. It's a student-run organization, keep that in mind, student-run organization that have helped over 150 restaurant workers get back onto their feet and back into the work community. Because of his dedication, we would like you all to join me in congratulating and thanking Ronit Batra for his contribution to our community by honoring him with the Michael K. Szymanski Community Service Award.
What a great evening. And Laura, it's George, we know that, right? Laura George Photography, okay. This evening, one of the awards that's a really coveted and cherished award is the Danville Award. And as the mayor, we have the honor to present that award. Now, I promised this person I would not bring them on stage and speak to them because it's sometimes a little uncomfortable, you know, when you have somebody talking how great you are. So I'm going to talk about how great this person is, and then I'll bring her up here on stage. I wanted to talk about the evening of honor and how this person exemplifies what we feel is an honor. Her repertoire of volunteer is extensive. I don't even think there's anybody in here that can compete. She has served as chief of staff on 2 Contra Costa County supervisors and was the executive director of the San Ramon Valley YMCA. Her volunteer work in the community includes service on the boards of directors for Leadership San Ramon, the San Ramon Valley Education Foundation, and Danville Rotary. She has volunteered her time in numerous positions within the schools and has worked closely with the San Ramon Valley Unified School District in addressing youth development and safety issues. In addition, she organized the San Ramon Valley Mental Health Advisory Council. We are hearing so much about that and how important that is. She was already doing this. She's the co-founder and organizer of the San Ramon Valley Diversity Coalition and appointed by the county supervisor, who just joined us, Candace Anderson. Yeah, you can clap for her real quick. That's to serve on the Contra Costa County Measure. See, that's what happens when you show up late. We have to call you out. So, Measure X Committee. The co-chair of the Valley-wide Committee on Youth Safety and Development, and co-chair on the school board campaigns Measure C and D for the San Ramon Valley Unified School District, which she organized over 300 volunteers, reaching over 60,000 voters. I need her on my campaign. And the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce as well. So the list goes on. It's endless. I could go on and on. Who is this amazing person? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating and welcoming to the stage Kathy Shiverton. Your inspiration as a community advocate is endless. And on behalf of myself and the entire town council, all of us in the town of Danville, we'd like to congratulate you as this year's recipient of the 2021 Danville Award. So I guess I get to get roasted right now, so I'm going to walk out.
All right, this is where we say, Morgan, you're out.
Yeah, well,
no, I'm kidding. So who would think, our former mayor, Karen Stepper, had the pleasure or the unfortunate task of being mayor when COVID first struck back in 2020. So at the end of the year, we knew that vaccinations were coming out, a whole bunch of things were happening, the country was getting organized and getting ready, and we thought we saw solutions. So Renee takes over last December, and that's what we did. Nothing worked the way anybody thought.
That's because I was mayor. No, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. But here we are, we're still wearing these, and by the way, I color coordinated. She said she was going to wear pink. Karen, I brought pink. We had them on, and she's wearing black, so I went back to black. But we didn't know, and there was no roadmap that we had for where we would end up this year. And it was starting and stopping, and our job as leaders, and particularly with Renee's job of getting every phone call when people are unhappy about things, hearing about businesses and how horrible their businesses is being devastated by being closed, and all of the rules, and trying to help lead a community to find its pathway, to still maintain our safety, to still maintain that when you as residents went home, Renee as mayor, her job was to reassure people that we would still be here. Tomorrow, don't worry about the town, don't worry, the lights will be on, we'll take care of it, your community is going to be safe. Renee had to find more time than anybody ever thought, and this is largely a volunteer job that costs you tens of thousands of dollars personally out of your pocket to do, unlike our state legislature, sorry. But the fact is it takes a lot of time, and you say, okay, I'm going to be mayor, it's almost full-time. Well, all of a sudden you realize it's 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, trying to find. We also still had committees and things to do. Renee serves on transportation committees, on Recycle Smart. Guess what? Did people pick up your garbage while they were, all of this was going on? Tim Argenti with Public Services says, yes, we did.
And I made sure of it.
Yes. She serves on Recycle Smart with myself. So it was not the year that Renee thought or any of us would thought. But we are so proud of all the things that Renee did when we went, oh, I'm glad she got that email or that phone call. But seriously, it was a team effort, and Renee kept us all headed in the right direction. She kept us focused, and we all had different ideas, and we still do, but we had to speak with one voice. We had incidents that happened in our community that were tragic, and we had to find a pathway forward to get through those. Renee was our spokesperson for that. She was the person that represented Danville to create reassurance, to show how we could pivot in our community. How could we, as we just recognized Kathy Shiverton on the Danville Award about mental health. We had to take a different position. Our chief, who's not up there now, but the rest of the guys are, there he is. No, I meant the fire chief, sorry, I couldn't see. Along with our own chief, is to find a way to address mental health in our community in a different methodology to get a different result. Renee had to be that spokesperson as well. So bottom line was the last 12 months have been a road that nobody knew where we were going to go, but we knew what was important. That was every day that any of our fellow citizens woke up, they would feel safe, they'd be reassured that things will get better each and every day when they woke up. Renee, we want to thank you on behalf of your entire community, in particular your council, for keeping us from not killing each other. And really keeping things going and finding that pathway forward to project that leadership that we are going to be here. And still, by the way, be the safest community in the state of California, which we are. So on behalf of your fellow council members, they're right over here. And this is Christmas colors for you. I mean, this is a beautiful lacquer. And you know what, I really appreciate this. Do you know that's the first time she got to hit the gavel tonight? And we probably had 50, 60 meetings where she was the chair, should have had a gavel. And you know what's so cool about this one? It's glued on, so she can't hit it either. So this is the official part to signify thank you for your second term as serving for Mayor of Danville in 2021. Thank you. We're not done, Laura. Sorry, Laura George, we're not done. My apologies. Now this, actually, that's not the prize. That's good. This is the prize. The reason why it's wrapped up, because it's got secrets. This is a scrapbook. Secrets. It's a scrapbook of all the good things or bad things Renee might have done in the whole year. And it's memorialized in a beautiful color book. And that book is actually put together by our staff. It was started by, I think, Ty Williams, one of our staff members, many years ago. And you know what? It's probably the thing that we treasure the most because it summarizes all the good, bad, and the ugly things that happened. Renee, I'm going to let you look at this later. We'd all like to put our signature on it. But this is your story this year for serving as mayor. And thank you so much. All right, Laura, can I take a picture? Thank you.
Oh boy, you get to hear from me one last time. I just wanted to take a moment and tell you, as the years of my life have passed, I've learned how valuable time is. Things change so fast. Yes, especially when I look in the mirror, but that's a different story. Anyways, during a pandemic, it sometimes feels like you have to run just to stand still. But let us not confuse that patience with waiting till tomorrow. We must be the change and the force to make it happen now. Even under state and county restrictions and health guidelines in place, and how many times I've called Candace's office and our county health officials to ask them about those in place. To me, nothing demonstrates patience and perseverance better than being the mayor in a pandemic or a council. We had to reinvent the way we operated. We had to reevaluate decisions numerous times, but we made it work. We had to find the solution to the problem, not become the problem. We had to turn those dreary spectators into valuable participants. We had to know that sometimes that fear is false evidence appearing to be real illusion. Think about that. We had to create it in our own minds. As council members, we direct our minds to becoming part of the solution and not the fear. We must recognize the potential in all of us, whether you're young or old. Planning and advocating took on a different meaning. Making decisions in government is already a slow process, full of checks and balances. Right, Joe? Yeah. Add to that a health order and other restrictions, well, I think you get my point. But even this, I kept pushing forward. Respect is earned and it's not given. It is not where you come from or how many friends you have. It's about inspiring others to join in your vision, to dream more, to learn more, to become more. These are the true attributes of a leader. Gratitude does not seem to exemplify what it means to work with such a passionate council, town staff, and our community. Our village is strong. It takes a village, and we are strong. There is no denying our love of Danville. I am and have been proud to be your mayor and a part of this team. My journey continues beyond today, and I will continue to strive to make what is good great. Let's continue to foster collaboration, encourage preservation, and invest our time to continue to make Danville a better place for today and our future generations. Thank you for the challenging, inspirational, sometimes frustrating, yet extremely productive year. We are all in this together. And as I say at the end of the Town Talks program, which we started this year, stay positive, test negative, keep in touch, and thank you to all of you. So at this point in time, we have that great honor of me being able to hand the gavel off to somebody. And at this point in time, I would like to ask my fellow council members if we have a nomination for the mayor for 2022.
Yes, Mayor Morgan, it's really an honor and a privilege this evening to show my support for my friend and fellow council member, Newell Arnerich. This is the man that I've admired since I joined the town 21 years ago as a planning commissioner, and Newell Arnerich had already been running this town for 12 years, beginning in 1989. That's a 32-year love affair with our community, and it shows. Everything we admire about Danville, Newell has had a hand in creating it.
Nothing.
As six-time mayor, he has guided us through some very challenging and difficult times, and we are currently in a very challenging and difficult time in our history. We need Newell's experienced voice more than ever. This is a time to stay the course and build upon all that Danville means to each of us, and Newell will get the job done. This has been a man committed to the success of Danville for over 32 years and has never lost the passion and desire to make this community a very special place to live and raise our families. It is my distinct pleasure, and I'm truly honored, to support a man that has great vision for the town of Danville, a man that has a great sense of purpose, a man that exhibits humility most of the time, carries himself with dignity, a man who leads with honor and who leads by example, a man with a moral compass and a consummate gentleman, a man who listens and understands the community's needs, and our future mayor, Newell Arnerich.
Okay, so I wanted to remind my fellow council members that we are only nominating, we are not, I'm sorry, okay. So, do I have any other nominations from the floor for mayor? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Newell.
It does go faster. It's just like, okay, you're done. Thank you. Goodbye. Robert, thank you for that, and thank you to all. And now it's my pleasure to open the nomination.
Oh, I would be very pleased to make a nomination for the vice mayor for Robert Storr, and I'd like to make a few comments in recognition of the service he's provided to this town for such a long time. You know that Robert came in when my good friend Mike Szymanski, whom we recognize tonight again, passed away. And so it took somebody with big shoes to fill when he came in 2009. And since I keep way too much paper, of course, I still had the interview of Robert's first interview. It went for pages and pages. Don't worry, we're not reading it. I will give you the summation sentence he had on there. He finally couldn't think of anything else to say. He says, I have a great deal of energy. And so you should all clap at that if you know Robert, because he does have a great deal of energy, and he brought that to all the fore. He was already a 20-year Danville resident, already a member of the Alameda Search, Rescue, and Recovery with the Sheriff's Office, and I do mean actually doing the diving, not just running the management, which he did a volunteer organization as well. But he'd already spent 10 years with Danville as a commissioner before he joined the council. He was on Planning Commission, DRB, which is our Design Review Board, HRC, which is our Heritage Resource Commission, and the Transportation Committee. So we're really glad to appoint Robert to the council back then in 2009. He was already the president of Pellegrini, hope I said that correctly, Construction, and he had built something that you already saw some of the feedback from earlier when Robert gave an award. He built the Willow Commons that has housing for senior citizens and also for disabled adults. And he has just he did this in the middle of Danville, making all the people that live there closer to their families, have some place to be living and be close to family, close to downtown, able to walk, all the things we talk about in building our new downtown plan that we're starting to work on right now. He brings to the fore all of that construction expertise and also the things he actually did. So it made a big difference, and we saw it made a big difference in their lives tonight. It was wonderful to have so many people there. It was also a question of why he applied for our commissions, why he applied then for our council, because he said he was going to preserve the quality of life in Danville. And you know, that's still our logo, and sometimes it's under attack. But for this council and for Robert, it's the way we lead. It's what he wants to see happen, is to have a higher quality of life in Danville. We can't use the legislation that's passed as excuses. We just have to go with it, and we need people with Robert's experience and leadership. So I would just say a couple things that he'll say all the time. He always prioritizes balanced budgets, our strong police presence, which is right up there with our, we have our veterans, our police, and our fire, all of our first responders. We're the safest city in California. He protects open space. You heard comments on that with the projects that had come up with, I think Newell talked about it with Save Mount Diablo. Robert was a big part of making sure we had that space available, which is something around 90% on the last 3 projects that have come to Danville. And it's very important, all the things he's done to help our retail downtown, that he shows up at all of the businesses to talk to them personally. In the midst of COVID, we were able to bring these new things, well, which we don't call our best buildings, which are the parklets, but we were able to bring you out to eat there and to support our businesses. And so Robert has been a great part of that. Today was the Pearl Harbor lighting. You heard Tim Clement. I'm sorry. What did I say? Yes, he's still in the audience. Yes, he's the CEO of Save Mount Diablo, and he was there at that lighting today when I was up at the Cal State University. And that's where they hold it now for all of the Pearl Harbor survivors. So Robert has continued to prioritize veterans. He's on the other committees with respect to the All Wars Memorial. And he always has somebody in his car. Whatever parade it is, he's always got somebody in there we're recognizing, whether it's senior or veteran. So I think that leadership is something that brings us all together, as everything in our community is talked about, whether we are diverse enough, who we recognize. He's a friend to everybody. If you haven't met Robert, well, you're soon going to have a new friend, because that's how he looks at Danville. His passion is inspiring. And so I'm going to tell you that he's going to welcome you and your ideas as the Vice Mayor of Danville in defining Danville's new master plan, because you matter to all of us, and you matter to Robert and his passion that he brings to that leadership. So therefore, I nominate Robert for Vice Mayor for the incoming year.
Thank you very much for that. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I love that,
we have a
Christy.
voter out there.
Christy Dodge voted for you. Robert, congratulations to you as well. Well, we're just about the end, and by the way, this is the fastest meeting we've had in 40 years, by the way. This is usually two and a half hours. We're going to get out of here. Thank you to Marisa and Suri and to our outgoing mayor. We're going to get out here about 15 minutes early. I do want to just add, on behalf of all of the council and the entire community, to all of our award recipients, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do. You inspire people, and why we're here tonight, and this will be broadcast. And if you'll check your program, that there are broadcast dates, and that's the program I tore up. Oh. You did. You can watch this on television, and for those of your family who didn't get to hear it, you get to watch it multiple times. But I'd also like to take just a couple of seconds to thank, on behalf of the council as well. We, the council, get a lot of credit, and we also get a lot of the complaints. But the fact is, this organization is run by people who are professional, who live here, who believe in this, and they're headed up by none other than a man who has been here longer than any city manager. City managers don't stick around very long. But for some reason, the best of the best decided to choose Danville to not only make it his home, to make it his job, to make it his career. We are led by somebody who makes a complete difference in why our community can be the safest, why we can have the best parks, why we can have all of these things. And it's under the leadership of one person, along with all people that are, say, equal to or below him, but none other than Joe Calabrigo, our city manager. So thank you, Joe. And of course, our doing is here to make sure we all do it right. And Rob also, he came on just a couple months before I started back in 95. And Rob has been a tremendous asset. And he represents you. He doesn't represent us. He represents you. And he makes sure that everything that we do is the best in public, that is fair, that it follows the law. And if we think, oh, we really want to do this, he says, well, you can't do it this way. And here's the reason why. You can do this, but you can't do that. And that's what we need. He's there for our staff to make sure that they understand what they can or can't do, and how to do it in a way that fits with the example. And so to Rob Ewing, we just want to say thank you for your work. And obviously, the person who helps organize a lot of this is Marisa Ansuri. Yes, she's our city clerk, but she gets tasked with a lot of other things, and this is the one big event that she has to help organize, as well as run all of our meetings, and doing it in Zoom and learning now how, as we were talking earlier tonight, how are we going to have meetings that are both live and in Zoom at the same time? Sounds simple. We have to live stream these, we have to broadcast them, we have to record them. So Marie Sinceri, on behalf of the town and all of our council, thank you. And I wouldn't forget, I think Diane Friedman is in here. She's our city manager. Diane, thank you for your advocacy and helping organize everything as well. Lastly, I would like to say, 2022 has, we thought, a roadmap, That roadmap may change. We have the Omicron variant. The good news is we're hearing, yes, it spreads quickly, but the symptoms seem to be mild. And generally speaking, still waiting for that final answer, that vaccinations have worked. That's going to continue to be part of our lives. You know, we appreciate Candace Anderson at the supervisor's office in the county health department, which makes the rules that we must follow and help enforce. And I also understand that our fire department, who did a stellar job of helping administer better than any other organization around we've seen, vaccinations, is going to do vaccinations for youth coming up. So watch for that. And if you have your children, I'll tell you what, my daughter's in healthcare. She was pregnant. She was told to get a vaccination. She did. We have the most beautiful grandson who is healthy. Don't hesitate. Follow the advice, and also check with these guys up there when your children are also available to get that. So thank you for that. I'd like to say that we have an opportunity this year, as it was mentioned by the mayor, Karen mentioned in talking about Robert. You know, every time we look at the downtown, we all go, that's the symbol of Danville. And believe it or not, it's something that we have to change, reinforce, nurture, invest in every couple of years. We invested over $1 million between our staff and programs to help our businesses over the past 2 years. What's going to focus on over this year is how do we make a permanent pivot in our downtown to enhance the experience, enhance the walking experience, enhance lighting, create more places for bench seating, more outdoor dining that looks permanent. Yes, in 2 weeks we're going to look at maybe extending on a temporary basis to help our restaurants who did not know that there was going to be this extended and a new variant. But the fact is we are looking forward. In spite of all these difficulties, we're looking forward to make Danville even better what it is. I look forward, along with our council members. We all have vastly different ideas. We have great leadership. We have great partnerships on our mental health coming out with the fire department and a new pilot program. Kathy Shiverton, as our mayor Morgan had mentioned, was on Measure X. Contra Costa County put a half-cent sales tax that's raising $137 million a year. A portion of that is going to go towards mental health in the county to create better responses, again, to get better outcomes. COVID has shown one thing, and I know Kathy is also retiring from a job that she has been passionate doing for the past 10 years with Discovery Counseling Center, and I've been fortunate to be on the board, that mental health in our community is much, much more a problem than we ever thought. And particularly in a community, this is a wealthy community, but its pain and suffering is more complicated. We have counselors at every single school, and we have to even do more. Our partnership with the fire department, our partnership with the county, we hope is going to make this an even healthier community, to make not only Danville the safest, but the happiest community on the planet. So with that, I just want to say thank you for your share in helping support us in making this community. For those of you that own businesses, those that you just live here, those who shop and dine, it takes all of us to help make this successful. To all of our commissioners here tonight, thank you for everything you do. We have one challenge this year. Now we have 100. But there's one challenge you're going to hear a lot about, and it's not going to be an easy conversation. The state of California is hell-bent on coming after cities, and particularly nice communities like ours. They think they're helping us. They're destroying our communities, and they're making all the decisions in Sacramento that we have no choice in. They eliminated single-family zoning in California. That is not our decision. If we don't find a way to meet that, we can get fined. And we said, okay, how much is that? It gets up to $1 million a month. The next step is they decertify us as a city, and we don't exist. That's the threat they have. You, and I won't mention all that, you know what's going on. Sacramento has to hear from us. We've worked hard to make a good community. We're not excluding people. Danville has done its fair share of affordable housing for 15 years. And I ask you, where is it? You don't know where it is. Because that's how we get it done. We won awards for projects. Robert's project was one of those, the Township project next door. We have done a 15% inclusionary housing ordinance for 25 years, and it works. We know how to do it. The state legislature is punishing us because of other bad things that cities, particularly in Silicon Valley, have done. So I ask for your patience. Know that we are trying our best. Our city attorney is looking for every angle and avenue that we can do this to make it work right for Danville. It is a challenge. So with that, the positive note is we've got rain, we've got vaccinations, we've got a whole bunch of things. Yeah, we're going to wear some masks, but things are getting better, and 2022 is going to be another great year in Danville, and you're going to be part of it. Thank you for being here. Happy holidays.